Morning, this is the Bear Jaw Trail up Mount Agazzi, but I'm going to break here right now and talk some anime.
Mouse doll.
Mouse Doll was one of the early CGI anime experiments from the turn of the century, an erotic cyberpunk horror fantasy. It's also one of the ugliest anime I've seen, which is intentional on the part of its creators. In a future city, the world is devoid of its human creators. The anime doesn't care where the human race went to. Maybe it was a plague, or an alien invasion, or the rapture. Who cares? This isn't a story about the late great human race. This is a story about those who were left behind. And all that's left behind are the buildings and the automated machines, the robots that humanity once built to serve them and have now been left without a purpose. Malice is a doll, one of many sex robots designed to give her creators pleasure. Now, without those who she reverentially calls clients, she has no purpose to her existence anymore. Each day she sadly gets up to wander the streets as she always does, looking wistfully for clients who she knows aren't there anymore. At the end of the day, she returns to the brothel where she commiserates with the other sex dolls. Malice is a strangely compelling character, pathetically going through her pointless daily routine, struggling to rise above her programmed purpose, and even feeling some sense of shame about that past purpose. And yet she takes pleasure and pride in being able to fulfill that purpose by bestowing a kiss on anyone or anything who will allow it.
I had a dream.
Are you going to go for a stroll as usual today?
This is the work I've been given to do.
But surely you're aware there are no clients.
In that case, why are you doing the cleaning? We're the same, the two of us.
Poor Malice has developed an oil leak from one eye that looks remarkably like a dark tear running down her sad face. She reports it to Joe, the administrator robot, and he sends her off to find Todd, the repairer robot. The admin also cautions Malice to beware of leukocyte, apparently the brothel's former bouncer robot, who has now forgotten his purpose and is acting strangely. As Malice goes in search of the repairer, she finds herself in rooms she's never seen before, unless her memory's gone faulty too. She discovers leukocyte has been transmogrifying dolls into distorted creatures, and then she meets leukocyte herself. Oh joy, anime's very first CGI tentacle rape scene. But afterwards, Malice awakens to find her dream has come true. She's transformed into a glorious new body of soft, warm flesh. She's like unto a god, which is to say a human. Her former doll friends barely recognize her, and Joe the administrator denies her outright. She's the little sex toy who dreamed of becoming a real whore. Malice's joy at her transformation is tempered when she discovers her old doll friends don't accept the new Malice. Malice sets about doing what she was made for, saying, "Let me give you my kiss, for that is the only thing I can do for you." But now her kiss has transformative powers itself, and soon the old dolls are changing too, and they fear that change.
Minna, どうしたの？ヘザー。マリス？あれがマリスなの？
あれはマリスなんかじゃないわ。近づいてはダメよ。
Malice Doll doesn't resemble any other anime I've seen before or since, hand-drawn or CGI. It looks truly unique, but not necessarily in a good way. There's probably a reason these experimental techniques didn't catch on. Visually, Malice Doll is both hideously dark and ugly, and paradoxically full of riveting visuals. Many of the sets overtly reflect the surreal landscapes of Salvador Dali, with checkerboard floors and machines in bizarre designs hovering above the ground. But most of it is dark and ugly, reflecting a decaying world that's breaking down. And this is one of the few anime that actually looks more impressive in still frame captures than it does in actual motion. The video is so dark that a different, brighter version was created to do the Japanese dialogue recording so the voice talent could see what was going on. Then they darkened and smudged it up again for the audience. Thanks. In the key transformative scenes at the very end, they employ some traditional hand-drawn character art to emphasize the transformations visually. This weird cyberpunk twisting of the Pinocchio story is the work of screenwriter Chinaki Tanaka, who also scripted Serial Experiment Lane, the 80 Police OVA trilogy Parasite Doll, and The Big O. He originally wrote this treatment for a European-style stop-motion project, a Czech robot chicken. Director Keitaro Motonaga re-envisioned the project as a sort of Chinese puppet theater, with a few animated puppet-like characters moving on a simple stage with fixed camera angles. Although mostly rendered in CGI, it's often a 2G projection of that CGI, like Chinese shadow puppets. The motion is limited, and unlike most CGI, the motion is jerky. Most of the illusion of motion comes from making quick cuts between frames that don't move much in themselves. It's definitely a look you haven't seen before. Malice Doll was originally released by Gaga Communication in 3 OVA parts, titled Hard Flesh, Oral Infection, and Perverted Organism. It's been sewn together into a single feature of about an hour and a half in its current North American DVD release from Arts Magic. The story of Malice Doll is as surreal as the visuals, and the ending even less comprehensible than Lane. The music is striking as well. The credits list Y Project with the Japanese metal band Yokosei Saber Tiger. That's out of my normal comfort range, and I don't even want to think about the noise Last FM served up when I plugged in Saber Tiger. But Malice Doll, the soundtrack, works impressively. It provides a very nice industrial beat for the robotic tale, and when called upon, it discovers the value of a melody, mysterious and snoring, for the transformation sequences. I give Malice Doll 2.5 stars. It's mostly ugly, slow, and difficult to comprehend. It may be an interesting and unique visual experiment in adult cyberpunk horror, but it's not an especially successful experiment. Originality is only worth so much before the turgid pace and general dinginess overwhelm the surreal vision, and whatever emotional connection the script allows gets lost. If you're looking to explore a unique side trail in anime history, you may want to check this out. But if you're looking for entertainment, it's best left as a road less traveled.
Thanks for watching.
A few minutes later, a little further upslope, I smelled smoke and went wandering off to see what it was. Found this, the still smoldering remains of a lightning strike from a few hours earlier when some thunderstorms had wandered across the slope. This is a first for me, finding something so recent I can still see it smoking like that, and there's still a few glowing red embers up there. Plus I can still hear the sap popping.